Greetings, Mavericks and new viewers. Tonight, direct and live from the Maverick News Network World Studios. This is Maverick News with Rick Walker.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Rick Walker. Welcome back to the Maverick News Channel. Great to have everybody here. We're a little dark in the studio tonight, but I'm going to correct that when we come back on the other side of our opening transition. I have a lot to share with you this evening. We're going to take you on a tour of some streets in Ukraine. We're going to talk a little bit about this Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight. I guess the odds are in Tyson. But Tyson gave what I would say is probably the weirdest interview in boxing history. And we're going to highlight that for you this evening. And also, Infowars. I told you, don't worry about Alex Jones. He'll be fine. Sure enough, one day after the auction, after having his website taken down, he's back in action. And UFOs. The Pentagon confirms brand new sightings, hundreds of them. Stay with me. All that and more coming up right here on Maverick News.
Greetings, brave Mavericks. Our quest for truth continues. We go beyond fake news. Together we expose propaganda. Together we pull others out of rabbit holes. We are maverick thinkers. We are all unique individuals, defenders of individual rights and freedoms, credible, trusted, grounded in reality. Maverick News, Maverick News. Defending free speech, free speech. Donate at freedomreporters.com. Do it now. Tomorrow may be too late. Maverick News. The world is watching. Maverick News. Fighting for freedom.
Live, here we go. Okay, so folks, sometimes sports is news. And that's the case tonight in some pretty strange ways. This, and in a very realistic way as well. And that's what we're going to get into right now, actually. Johnny's on the phone, and we're going to talk about this Tyson. Well, it's actually technically Jake Paul versus Tyson, right, John?
That's correct.
And so you sent me a message a little earlier today talking about the odds because, you know, that's your universe. I don't really gamble.
Well,
so
that was from Caesars, okay. Las Vegas, because there's different odds. Different casinos have different odds.
Okay. So
anyway.
So how's that looking? What's going down with all that?
Well, they say Tyson's going to win, so I think Tyson's going to win myself.
Yeah, you think so?
Oh yeah. That Jake guy, he's not a boxer. He's like martial arts, and this is a boxing match, so you have to box. You can't kick the guy. You know what I mean?
Well, you never know. With Mike Tyson, he has a fondness for ears,
Yeah, bite his ear
You
off.
could just bite his ear off. So,
Yeah, so I think, and Tyson's been working out hard. He's an old guy though. He's more than twice his age, I guess. Eh?
well, I think he's what, 58 years old. He's a young spring chicken, a year younger
Oh
than me.
yeah. The other guy's like what, 27 or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And they had to postpone the fight because Tyson got sick. He had an ulcer flare up. That's what I read. So he's not that healthy.
Yeah, I heard he quit everything for this fight. He quit. All he does is work out. He quit drugs. He quit drinking. He quit sex. He quit everything, and he's working so hard. So he said, but he's doing magic mushrooms. He says. I don't know what that. I guess he could take the beating. I guess I don't know. They probably check you for drugs and everything in your system, huh?
I don't know. It's a prize fight. I think that whole, you've talked about rigging sporting events and like everything in life, really. I think if there's something to be rigged, it would be something like this.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You think so? Well, I'm gonna watch it. It probably won't come on till about 11 o'clock, I guess. But
yeah, I think the broadcast starts around 8, but they have all these preliminary things, and of course they're going to hype it up and drag it out and keep the audience there as long as possible to build up the ratings.
Oh, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Definitely. For sure. That's gonna be good Friday night. I guess your movie tonight. I don't know if I'll be up for that.
Yeah, well, tonight I do have a movie lined up. I'll let people guess what it's going to be. It's a science fiction flick. I'll leave it at that.
Oh, that's going to be good. I like science fiction.
Yeah. It's really something to look at, this one. So I don't know. I'm not convinced that he's going to win because I'm 59, and when I wake up in the morning, I know what it feels like to be 59. And I haven't been in the ring with some of the most powerful boxers in the world pummeling me or trying to pummel me and smashing my face and my ribs. And he's had broken ribs, and I don't know, man. Like, I guess he's had time to heal, but he's still 58 years old.
But do you see what kind of shape he's in?
Yeah, I know. That's what it looks. It looks pretty good.
The guy's like a rock.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But you need stamina too, right? I don't know. Like, I know. So like this Jake Paul though, like you say, he's an MMA guy, right? So
yeah, I can send you some stuff on him. He's knocked out a lot of people, Jake Paul.
Yeah. So he's done like 10, 11 bouts. He's 10-1, right, in the boxing ring.
Yeah, you know, that's right.
Yeah. So
it's
he's got the experience.
Yeah. But I'm putting my money down on Tyson anyways.
All right. So what are the odds there? I think you said that if you bet on, what is it, almost like 2-1 or something?
It depends on the casino that you bet. Different odds, different casinos. But the one I sent you was Caesar. 100. You bet 100, you get back 160. And Jake Paul, you get back what, 240?
Ooh.
So.
Wow.
He's the underdog. At another casino, the BM, I forget what the name. 120 on Tyson and 200 on Jake Paul.
Okay.
So
pretty much across the board, universally, people are in the know, are thinking that it's going to be Tyson.
I think so too. I put my money. I tried to find a place to bet it. The only place you can bet is through a bookie. I don't bet through bookies.
Yeah.
It's not on Proline. I looked on there, unless it's on the app that you buy, you download. I don't download the app.
Well,
So
this for me is sort of like stepping back in time because for me, Tyson's sort of a throwback to, well, I don't know, what years was he most active as a boxer? When was he at his peak? That'd be like in what years?
I don't remember. I used to be a big fan of Tyson. I used to record all his fights, and
Yeah.
he was what's his name? The guy with the gray frizzy hair. That he was making nothing because he was pissed off, and
Right.
and then he got all messed up with drugs and stuff, and then he cleaned up, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That guy Tyson's a funny character. That's why I like him. He's like, well, I seen him train out. But you see the guy run, man. The guy's fast. He's fast, and
Yeah.
I think he's got it. Got it to win. I think he's got it in him.
Yeah, but
he didn't have it.
You surely you saw that last fight. Who was it he had that exhibition match with? I can't
Oh yeah,
remember.
that was. I don't remember that fight. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
I watched that. That's got to be 5 or 6 years ago. And man, when I watched that, I did see it, and I just thought it was like amateur boxing. I thought that even then Tyson in the training videos he looked really fast and menacing, but then in the actual fight they came out and it was sort of like lackluster, slow, not up to a really true professional heavyweight standard at all. So
You know
I don't
what,
know.
Rick?
What's that?
You know what? This fight's rigged.
Of course it is.
It's rigged. I'm telling you. I don't know what he's getting paid to fight. I didn't look into it, but
I've heard
You know,
it's somewhere between they could be making anywhere from $20 to $40 million a piece.
wow.
Yeah.
$6.99 to sign up for,
Oh.
and it's on whatever that it's not even on. I wonder if it's on pay-per-view.
It's going to be on Netflix apparently.
It's on Netflix, but I wonder if it's on pay-per-view also. I doubt it.
No, I think that it would be on they're going to have the broadcast rights, so they won't share that. I wouldn't think.
$6.99.
$6.99.
Sign up for Netflix tonight to watch them get whatever. I think it's rigged.
Yeah, his manager back in the day was Don King.
Don King, that's
Yeah,
the guy.
yeah,
He ripped him off. He ripped him off for royalty. That guy. He just took all his money and.
The guy with the hair. Here, I have a picture of him. I just found it. Here. Oh, those were the days.
Yeah, that was boxing. Now everything's MMA. Everything's UFC. Hey, Tyson opened up his own boxing league. It's a MMA. I don't hear too much about it. UFC is still big.
Yes.
But he opened up MMA, and he put a lot of money into it.
Yeah.
And started it up. So, but I don't hear much about it. And he got one of the biggest boxers in the world on board. Really high profile boxer he got on board, but for that league there. But it hasn't really taken off much.
Man, you talk about corruption and rigging and theft and all this stuff. There's like that Don King. It wasn't just Tyson that he was screwing over. He ended up in lawsuits with all kinds of boxers, as I recall. There was like something with Muhammad Ali. There was a lawsuit with Larry Holmes. The list goes on and on and on. That guy, I don't know. It's just like it's just the nature of the world, I guess, right?
Yeah. He was a crook, that guy, eh?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Because I'm just looking up some stuff here about him. It says here Tyson has described King, his former promoter, as ruthless, deplorable, and greedy. He, he sued Don King for $100 million, alleging that the promoter had cheated him out of millions over more than a decade.
He did.
It was settled out of court with Tyson receiving $14 million. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
It is. It is, but it's probably just a drop in the bucket compared to what, overall he earned over the course of his, main career. So, a lot of fights, a lot of big money fights, and he basically ended up pretty much broke, which is probably why he's climbing back in the ring now. It's about the cash. But,
well, it's always about the cash.
Yeah. Well, I remember Muhammad Ali too. I mean, I was very young at the time, but at the end of his career, he kept coming back, and it got to be pretty sad because he'd step into the ring and he'd be slow, and it really tarnished, I think, the tail end of his career. But sometimes these guys, they have the fighting spirit in them, and they just don't know when to quit. And of course, he was just developing Parkinson's disease too, right? So that slowed him down a lot. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit worried about this Mike Tyson thing tonight because he is so old. But like you say, he's built like a bull and solid as a rock.
There's going to be a lot of people watching it.
Yes.
It's one of those fights that people are going to,
Yeah, it'll be one for the record books for sure, and it really is like nostalgic for me. I don't know if I'll actually get to watch it tonight because I'm going to be on here, but at some point I'll be reviewing the video.
It doesn't start till 11, so.
Yeah.
You'll be on for the movie too, I guess.
Yeah, so we've got the movie that starts, but I think the movie is going to run. Probably be over around 11:15, I think, by tonight. So it's not a full hour and a half or 2 hours. I think the movie runs about an hour and 15 minutes tonight. So
he ended up in jail for a while too, and he changed his religion in jail, just like Ali did.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, because there was those sexual assault charges, right?
Yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't like to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw an interview after he got out. I think he just got out of prison, and he agreed to do some interview, and he called the interviewer a POS because the interviewer went straight for the sex assault questions, and I think they had made an agreement beforehand. They weren't going to talk about it, but they did. That was a long time ago, too. So much water under the bridge. Oh, my God. And he's always been sort of tied in with Trump loosely, like.
Trump, they get, they're good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and Trump are good buddies, yeah.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Well, most of the fighters are buddies with Trump.
Yeah, he's tied right into the MMA world, too, right? Dana White. WWE, all those fighters, they're all tied in. I don't know. They all like Trump, all the fighters, eh? Yes. Yeah, that's the Trump world, right? It's just so, I don't know. It's the trailer park, blue collar, redneck, wrestling world, over the top showbiz, Barnum and Bailey. World of politics. It's like, and people love it because it's just that whole side of Americana. There's a certain charm to it, but it's also tacky as hell at the same time. It's like he's got to be the only president who brings Mickey D's into the White House.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I know a lot of people, a lot of my friends are all watching it. It's all.
Yeah.
Next week gonna snow, so.
Hey, did you see the what do they call that? The face off or whatever when they do the weigh-in, and Tyson slapped Jake Paul?
Oh, that's so It looks so phony to me, eh?
Yeah, yeah. Talk about hype, right? Like that's what I mean. It's the whole Barnum and Bailey over the top circus, right?
When I seen that, I go, "Oh, this fight's rigged."
Yeah, showbiz, man, showbiz. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and anyways, it's good entertainment for tonight.
It is
Better than a Taylor Swift concert.
Oh my goodness, I don't know. They're competing for audience, but two different demographics, I guess. So
Yeah, I'm not into the Swift shit. But
no, me either. I am interested in the fight. I think it's just another one of those American moments, a milestone in history, a little piece of sports and even pop culture, right?
eight 2-minute rounds. It's probably going to go to distance.
You think so?
Yeah, it's probably going to be a rematch. They're probably going to drag it out the whole 8 rounds, and then who knows? Maybe Tyson will win decision or something, and then they're going to have a rematch, and maybe Jake Paul will win the next one. So then they got to have another one, a tiebreaker, right?
Yeah. Well,
it's all about money. It's all about the money.
That's right. Keep it going. Milk it. Milk it.
You know, they get a large enough audience. They'll probably say, "Drag it on to 8 rounds. Come on, let's go."
But let's say for the sake of argument that it is rigged, right? If you want to have the rematch and you want to drag it out that way, would it be better to have Tyson win or lose tonight in order to set up the rematch?
It'd be better to be a split decision, and something like Tyson wins on a split decision. Make it look good, you know. And then if Tyson knocks him out first couple of rounds, remember Tyson used to, every time he fought, he always won like 2-3 rounds.
Yes.
He knocked them out.
Yeah. Yeah, because he was just so damn strong and.
Yeah. A lot of those fights were fixed. A lot of them were. You know, and the guy, he used to win 2-3 rounds all the time, from what I remember. Yeah,
except when he started to do the drugs and he got tired and careless, and then he got frustrated and he bit Evander Holyfield's ear off.
that was a class. That's still, everybody's still talking about that today.
Yeah, well, I am anyway. I remember when that happened, and I thought, my God, what an animal! Like it's not sportsmanlike at all, you know?
Yeah, that guy's he's an animal, Rick. I'm telling you, he's still an animal.
I don't know, man. He's.
Just look at his face, with all those tattoos on him. That's enough to scare the heck out of you.
Yeah, it is.
You win.
He seemed to lose that killer instinct, though, that edge,
As soon as he opens his mouth, eh? What do you mean? What do you mean it's me? You want to fight? Let's go.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that manly voice.
I dare you to say that to his face. I dare you. Oh, man. Well,
that's another guy I used to love watching is Steven Seagal, eh?
Oh, my God. Have you seen him lately?
Oh, yeah, he's like a balloon, eh?
Oh, my God. Like, what? How many?
Sumo wrestler.
I know. The guy is huge.
But you ever seen Steven Seagal run? Check some of his old flicks. He runs so funny, man,
I think he was practicing for being a sumo dude. Yeah.
He runs. Oh man, when Steven Seagal runs, he runs so funny. I couldn't stop laughing when I see him run. But Tyson, when he runs fast, man. He just runs. He's like a marathon runner, that guy. But Steven Seagal, he couldn't run, I tell you.
I just saw a recent picture of him. Of course, he's living in Russia these days, and I mean, the guy, he's got to be 350 freaking or 400 pounds. Like, huge.
The guy's huge.
Yeah. What
He's one of the best fighters of all time.
I know that's because he just eats his opponents.
Yeah. Well, he went to Japan. He learned a different kind of martial arts. So,
Yeah.
he's
He just sits on his prey. And they can't get up. Steven Seagal's sitting on me and I can't get up.
he's a good fighter. Come on, Rick. The way he fights with his hands like.
Yeah, but I could beat
him.
him now. I could beat Steven Seagal now. I just get in the ring and just run away from him. I just run away from him, and then I'd like to do a wide arc around, and then come up behind him and just kick him in the butt, and then run away again. You do that. You just can't let him catch you, or you're doomed.
And there was Chuck Norris. That guy was pretty good too.
Oh yeah, he was pretty good. Yeah.
He was. Yeah. Bruce Lee was probably the best because of his sounds.
Oh yeah.
But he wasn't a very good fighter. But his sounds were good.
Yeah, they were. Good. Oh my! And Enter the Dragon. That was a great movie, man. Whoa, that was a wicked movie. So a lot of the other Bruce Lee movies are like they kind of suck. Because of just those Japanese things where you can't really understand the episode in sync with what they're saying.
But the best fighters of all time, you got Muhammad Ali, number one, probably. He's probably one of the best of all time. And then you got Tyson up there. Come on, you got to throw him up there.
He's up there. Yeah.
Yeah, he's up there. And then after that, it's boxing's faded. It's more UFC now. Everybody likes blood, Rick,
Yeah, yes. I remember doing stories about the UFC when it first started. There was a Canadian guy from the Windsor area, and I interviewed him, and people were freaking out back then because a lot of people thought it should be outlawed because it was going to be so dangerous, and they thought people would get killed in the ring.
Remember Canada? They wouldn't allow UFC come here and fight, eh?
Yeah, that's right.
They banned it in Canada.
Yep. Yeah, it is pretty brutal. It's a brutal sport.
It is. Yeah. You watch some of the canvas; it's full of blood.
Yeah.
People. Oh yeah, it's probably.
Well, there's that fight with Conor McGregor where he broke his leg. And it just flops, and then he's laying there. He's sitting on the mat, right, leaning up against the ropes, and he's still threatening the guy. And I'm like, dude, your leg is in two pieces. You should shut the hell up.
He's probably the number one UFC fighter ever. That guy. He's Irish, and he comes out and puts on a show. He's probably one of the most one of the best UFC fighters. That guy, I think.
Tough as nails, man.
Yeah, he was. I don't know, but he's coming back too, McGregor. He's healing up. But
I don't know how you do that, man. You break your leg and snap it right in two, and then you come back to fight again. That leg, I wouldn't think is ever going to be the same again. But I don't know. With me, I'd be limping around and moaning and complaining and doing just milking it for sympathy for years. I broke my leg.
A good friend of mine, he used to be a UFC fighter, and he can kick. He had these long legs, and he can kick.
Yeah.
But he got a concussion, and they won't let him fight anymore. As soon as you get a concussion, that's it. You won't. They ban you. You're not allowed to fight him.
That makes no sense at all when you think about it, because the last thing you need when you step into the ring is your brain.
That's true, though.
It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, well, like, what did they expect was going to happen? Like, you're going to get punched in the head, kicked in the head, punched in the head, kicked in the head. Yes, well, we can't let you fight anymore. You're punch drunk. Oh, man.
Oh, man. Well, that was. Yeah. Anyhow, Rick, it's entertainment. That's it. I think that's all it is tonight. Entertainment. I don't know. I don't know if he can take the fight. I think it's going to be a show. Just it's not going to be. It's rigged. Probably rigged. We'll see. We'll see what people say after the fight.
Yeah. Well, I think the last one was sort of rigged, to be honest with you, and it just looked to me like they were just in there dancing around and not really. It just didn't look like it was that. Just wasn't up to a real professional standard, the last thing. And it was just supposed to be an exhibition match. But is this for any kind of position or ranking?
No.
No?
It's just entertainment.
Yeah.
Just entertainment and money and, well, like I said, they're probably going to have a rematch, most likely. And,
yeah.
But Tyson, if you look him up, he opened up MMA. It's and some of the fighters he's got on board, some of some really big names he's got on there, and but I haven't heard much about it. I guess people they rather watch UFC than boxing. Boxing has gone downhill,
Yes.
Nobody really watch boxing anymore. It's all UFC.
That's why they need Mike Tyson, because he still has the name, and that draws the audience. Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe that's why they're doing it too, is to bring back some boxing. But
yeah, I don't know. Personally, I prefer boxing over MMA if I was going to watch. It just seems more, to me, a little more civilized and a little more sportsmanlike, more like a sport rather than just the MMA stuff. I don't know what it is about it. It's it goes beyond sport into something more like a gladiator contest.
Well,
that's just me.
Rocky Marciano, didn't he start the boxing, and the mob controlled him, and it was all rigged.
Yeah.
Anybody that fought him, they had to go down certain round, because it was rigged. See, right, third round you go down. That's it. If you don't, we kill your mother, or we kill your father, or break your legs.
Yeah.
I've seen all the boxing movies, but it was fixed back in the old days, and still fixed today. I'm telling you, this is rigged tonight. I don't take it seriously tonight. It's just more of entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
UFC, that's real. You can tell, but it's a blood sport. When these guys are fighting, most of the fights, some take a beating like you've never seen before. They're really tough.
Yeah, well, McGregor really did break his leg. That was pretty clear.
Yeah.
He didn't fake that. No, sir.
Yeah. And that's why a lot of people probably, gone away from boxing, because it's rigged. It's a rigged sport. Boxing is known to be a rigged sport. It always was.
I think I told the story here one night about the interview I did with the professional wrestler who was opening a wrestling school in the city of Cambridge in Ontario, and I was doing a live hit on television at noon one day. So they sent me down to this wrestling school to train young guys how to be professional wrestlers, like WWE or WWF style, right? Did I ever tell you that story?
No.
Oh yeah, man. This was years ago. So they send me down there, and so I get down to this wrestling school, which is like this fly-by-night thing. It's up above this It's like a downtown Cambridge, Ontario, and they've got the upper floor of an old building, right? And I go up there, and we've got the live truck. This is back in the day when we needed like wasn't satellite. It was a microwave link. So I'm going live at noon, and I say to the guy, they bring in this, like, I can't remember the guy's name, but he was sort of a name wrestler. Huge, just this massive guy. And I climb in the ring with him, and I'm going to do this live hit. And we're just before we go to air, and I say, well, what are we going to talk about? And we have this little discussion, and we agree that what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask him if wrestling is fake. Okay.
Yeah, right.
And he says, okay, you go ahead. So I'm like, all right, so we go live, and then I start with my spiel, and we're down at this wrestling school, and this guy's here, and he's going to teach these youngsters how to be wrestlers, and and I don't remember what the guy's name was now, but anyway, like his arm, like his bicep was as big as my head. I'm not joking, okay? So then I go, and so tell me, a lot of people think that wrestling is fake, right? Is it fake? And he says, well, here, let me show you. So he grabs me, and he lifts me up in the air over his head, and he spins me around, okay? Spins me around, takes me, and slams me on the mat. In the ring, all right. And so I'm back in the day. I was wearing my glasses, right? Because I've got specs, and see, so my glasses go flying off, and I'm like, holy frack, right? So I get up. This is like live on TV. I just got body slammed, and back in the control room, they're freaking out. They're like, did he get killed or whatever? I stagger back up. I'm like, well, so anyway, this is Rick Walker signing off, right? I get back to the newsroom. Do you know what happens to me? Okay, I put my life on the line for the news organization I was working for at the time, right? Like literally. I get back and the news director has me called into his office. And he hauls me in there, and I have a seat in front of his desk. And you know what he says? He says, Rick, I'm very disappointed in you. You lost control of that interview. I was like, I looked at him, I said, you try controlling him, okay? like, did you see that guy? Unbelievable. I didn't even want to do that. I didn't even want to do that interview. And they sent me down. Anyway, looking back on it, it was pretty funny. But I guess they were worried that I got killed, or I was maybe injured. I was okay. The guy was pretty. They had some real finesse about the way he does his body slam, but that's a true story. Yeah, and I lost control of. No kidding, no kidding. Yeah, because he grabbed my microphone out of my hand, and then he picks me up and over his head and then slams me down. I was like, oh my god. Anyway, that's.
Oh my god, yeah, that's too much.
Yeah,
but.
Now that's journalism.
You play sports, you're going to get hurt. That's all I got to say. It doesn't matter if it's baseball or,
Yeah.
You play sports, you're going to get hurt eventually.
Well, I signed up for journalism, not wrestling.
Not wrestling.
Somehow I ended up in the ring with Godzilla, and I came out on the losing end twice, in the ring and then back in the news director's office too.
You gotta learn how to run faster, Rick.
That's right. Yeah, well, he was no Steven Seagal, this guy, man. Okay, I was no escaping him. He put me in a headlock first too, and that arm, like, I am not joking. Like, his bicep was like, this guy. You want to talk about steroids? That's it right there. Oh my.
Is this WWE or was a different kind of wrestling?
Yeah,
You remember?
they were trying to get sort of a professional wrestling league
Oh,
going
okay,
in
okay, I got
Canada,
you now.
and then there was this school that they established,
Right,
and
right.
so as this was going on, they kept sending me down. I became like the wrestling reporter, right? They kept sending me back there too to do follow-up stories. So I did that one when they opened the place. I did a couple of stories when they put on actual wrestling matches, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Remember
yeah, yeah.
Lulu's in Kitchener, the big bar? I think they put a big one
Oh
on
yeah.
there, and then eventually the school shut down. There were lawsuits over it, and some of the people who paid tuitions and things ended up suing the guy who was running the place, and it turned into what else from that world? Lawsuits. And
Yeah.
I told them from the beginning, I don't think we should, I don't really want to do this story about this wrestling school because I don't know if it's legitimate. Oh,
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
they,
but that's you play sports, you're gonna get hurt. Doesn't matter what it is, you
yeah,
know.
that's true. Yeah,
So that's the problem. Yeah,
yeah. And boy, also, and just to cap off and segue into what I'm going to do next, Tyson did this pre-fight interview. Did you see it with this 14-year-old kid? It's gone viral.
no, I didn't see that.
I'm going to run it, and it's like really weird and dark. And the kid's like really pumped up and full of energy, and then Tyson gets into this. He just goes down this dark road. It's like it's just this whole thing about. Well, I'm going to run it because it's sort of disturbing, but at the same time, it just makes me crack up because it's just so depressing. Um, I don't know this. You talk about athletes preparing psychologically to inject a lot of positivity into their psyche before a big event or a big match, right? If this is what he's carrying into the ring, I don't know if it's good or bad. Maybe he'll just blanket the entire ring in a dark cloak of death, and it'll be the end of Jake Paul because this interview he was pretty damn it was pretty damn depressing. Even though the kid's trying to put a positive spin on it, I'm going to run it, and
That'd be interesting. I haven't seen
yeah,
that.
I'm going to provide my analysis, my professional journalistic opinion on this weird interview.
So you're taking Jake Paul.
I'm not taking either one. I don't know. I
Well, just guess one, you know.
okay.
It's better if you had money on it, then you'd be
Yeah.
more into it. You'd watch it for sure.
No, you know what? Yeah, I think you're probably right. It's probably going to be Tyson by a hair.
The old
Yeah.
man, eh?
Yeah, just because he's got the name, they don't want to tarnish his reputation, and they're going to they want to keep him elevated into that status,
Yeah.
and then yeah, it'll set it up for some sort of if not a rematch with Jake Paul, it'll set it up for he'll come out on top, and they'll say, look how he's still got it. And we're going to set up another match with somebody else, and then there'll be another fight in a year or something like that.
Boxing is a rigged sport. That's one thing for sure. It's
Yeah.
rigged. So
Yeah.
it's like WWE rigged.
Yeah.
That sure is rigged.
Yeah. Although I have to tell you, the 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 floor of that wrestling ring, that felt pretty damn real to me on that afternoon.
Yeah,
I
it's
never
pretty
forgot
hard,
that.
eh?
What's that?
I've been on it, but I've never wrestled in.
Yeah.
Actually, I designed in Mississauga. I designed a gym for an ex-wrestler, WWE. What's his name? The Italian guy with the sock. He had a Cobra sock, and I forget his name. But anyways, I met him. I did a gym for him in Mississauga. He opened up a gym. He retired, and And I went for the final inspection, and I said, "Can I go in that ring? You take your shoes off." Okay. I went in there, I go, "This is pretty hard landing on this stick." And so I could imagine.
But
so you were in the ring when he body slammed you?
oh yeah, he body slammed me in the ring. But you know what? You know what it is that saves you?
Yeah.
There's springs underneath the floor.
But they're not that powerful.
No, they're not. They're not that powerful, but there's a little bit of give.
It's not like a mattress.
Yes, no, it's not. But there is some give there, so it gives when you hit. And it's also set up so that there's a lot of sound. It's loud, right? So when they stomp, it's loud. And when you get body slammed, it's loud. It's like, bam, so that's all part of the show.
But it's still hard. It's still hard.
Oh, it's hard.
When you hit it, you feel it,
No, I felt it. I did. I felt it. See, that was when I was in my 20s, right? My early 20s. So I was able to take it. Now that I'm Mike Tyson's age, I don't want to get body slammed. I don't even want to get out of bed.
I don't blame you. But if they paid you $1 million, I would do it, eh?
Maybe.
Just give me $1 million. You can make 40 million. I'll just give me $1 million. You can body slam me.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Just make sure you got a will, just in case.
Yes, that's right. Oh man. Well, listen, John. Thank you. Thank you for this. Man. I appreciate
nice talking to you. Okay.
All right. See you. Bye. Okay, so let's run this interview with this 14-year-old kid. This interview, it's so freaking weird. I gotta tell you, what was Jazzy? Is this kid's name? Yeah, Jazz or something. Yeah, it's like, I get this kid's name, Jaslyn Guerra. Okay, and the kid is like bright and it's this young girl actually. Okay. And she had this opportunity to interview Tyson, and I think she's interviewed him before, probably at like a comic convention or something, and she gets this other interview, which is like that's a scoop, man. And so this thing's gone viral on YouTube, but it just goes. Tyson just takes it down this weird road. Okay, let's cue it up, and I might stop it and comment as the interview progresses. This is my review of the Jazzy interview with Iron Mike Tyson in advance of the Tyson Jake Paul fight.
What's going on, guys? It's Jazzy, and today I'm here with one of the greatest heavyweight champions of all time and fellow Brooklynite, Mr. Mike Tyson. How are you today?
Doing good, Jazzy. How you doing?
I'm great. It's really great to see you again. Last time I saw you, it was at Fanatics Fest, and that was a really great interview that I did with you.
Let's try another one.
Yep, let's go. Well, as a child, you faced many difficulties at home and in school, but found tranquility with your pigeons. So how does spending time with pigeons help you mentally in regards to coping with all the problems that you were facing at that time?
It's hard to even explain it. That's just my life. It's just, I can't even explain why I have them. They've been in my life so long. It's just, that's what I do. That's my life. That's my outlet in life.
And I'm really glad that you found something.
I used to have pigeons when I was a kid, and they are therapeutic. I have to say, I had show pigeons, I had some homing pigeons, and it's made me into the person I am today, the bird lover that I am.
Positive, and you found a positive way to cope with that as well. Me being a kid, especially being from Brooklyn, I understand all the adversities that some of the younger kids also go through. I also see what they go through in our neighborhoods. I have some family that live in Brownsville as well, so I am very well aware of what happens around there. So,
but listen, adversity is beautiful. I'm so happy I endured it. Nothing more better than adversity. You know, adversity makes the strong stronger and the weak weaker. Without adversity, we're nobody. You have to be tested in life. Without test, there's no testimony.
Yes, and I hope everyone else is listening to that because that's a very special message.
It is indeed, and that's a good message, and I like that one, and I like Jazzy's glasses. I think her glasses are just stellar, very stylish. I love those, actually. This is a young star, actually, and just full of positive energy. Good answer, Mike. Let's keep going. It's gonna get dark now.
Well, you are now 58 years old, and you are technically Unc status, so congratulations on that, Uncle Mike. So
Okay.
at your age, and now where you are in life, what is your definition of happiness?
Just living life, family, friends, you know. Everybody has a different definition of happiness. It's not always family or friends. Maybe it's individual love. His happiness has, it's just so many different definitions of happiness.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that.
Philosophy, according to Mike Tyson.
And yes, you have to value everything in life. And there's different definitions of happiness, like you said.
And actually, there's a lot of wisdom from someone like a Mike Tyson, a boxer, someone who comes from adversity and climbs all the way to the top of the mountain and gets kicked back down and then climbs back up, and here he is tonight. The whole world is talking about him again. So there's a lot of life experience there and a lot to be learned, and Jazzy's bringing that to us, but it's gonna get dark.
Absolutely.
Well, with the big fight coming up, what are the first three things that come to your mind when you think of Jake Paul?
I don't think much of him. I think he's very funny. Yeah.
I don't think that's the killer instinct you need before you climb into the ring and you're in a boxing match. I don't know if he's got that killer edge anymore. Boy, I'll tell you, when he was younger, it was like a different Mike Tyson. I don't think you would have heard those kind of words out of a young Mike Tyson. What you're getting now is the philosopher Mike Tyson, the kinder, gentler Mike Tyson. I don't know if this bodes well for him this evening.
He's funny.
Yeah, he's funny, he's a very nice guy, and he's very cool too.
I agree.
Yeah, and he's pretty tough, and he's very dedicated to his career.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, definitely. Well, in your return to the ring for this fight, you are setting a monumental opportunity for kids my age to see the legend Mike Tyson in the ring for the first time. So after such a successful career, what type of legacy would you like to leave behind when it's all said and done?
Well, I don't know. I don't believe in the word legacy. I just think that's another word for ego. Legacy doesn't mean nothing. That's just some word everybody grabbed onto. Someone said that word and everyone grabbed on the word, so now it's used every 5 seconds. It means absolutely nothing to me. I'm just passing through. I'm going to die, and it's going to be over. Who cares about legacy after that? What a big ego. So I'm going to die. I want people to think that I'm this, I'm great. No, we're nothing. We're just dead. We're dust. We're absolutely nothing. Our legacy is nothing.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. That is
What? I don't want a legacy. It's just I'm just gonna die, and then that's it. It's like, what the hell, Mike? We're just dust. There's nothing. It doesn't matter. There's no meaning to life. We're just all gonna die, and it doesn't mean a thing. And no one will ever remember me. It will be like I didn't exist. Like, what? This is Mike Eeyore Tyson. Eeyore. Oh. I don't want a legacy. It doesn't mean anything. I'm just gonna die. What did you do to prepare psychologically for this? I didn't do anything. What's the point? The universe is expanding. It doesn't matter anymore. Like, it's inevitable. We're all gonna die. Nobody here gets out alive. What? Oh my God. What an interview.
something that I have not heard before someone say that as an answer. So thank you so
Me
much for
either.
giving me that kind of idea as well.
Can you really imagine somebody say, I want my legacy to be this way when you're dead? Why do you want somebody
True.
to think? You think somebody really wants to think about you? What's the audacity? I think, I want people to think about me when I'm gone. Who the fuck cares about me when I'm gone? Well, my kids, maybe, my grandkids. Who the
True.
fuck cares?
And again, thank you so much for sharing that.
Just being interviewed by a 14-year-old kid. He's talking like that. Who the F cares? I don't care anymore. F this life. Or just, who cares? You're just gonna die anyway.
And I also have a gift. I have a gift for you. And I know
Yeah.
that last time at Fanatics Fest, I actually asked you a question about
You're
Customado.
pretty sharp. You got your little.
Oh, thank you. You look sharp yourself
Fendi
too.
and
I like the
stuff.
casual outfit right here. You look
Thank
nice.
you. Thank you.
Very stylish,
Built.
Mike.
Built.
Yes.
That's my brand. Built. I have a
Oh,
new brand of clothes called Built.
oh, it looks very nice on you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Last time at Fanatics Fest, I interviewed you, like we said, and we talked about Customado. And
Yes.
I know that he's very special, and he was a very big impact in your life. And he
That's
inspired
why I'm
you.
here with you right now.
Yep. And because of that, I have a gift for you. This is actually mine from my collection.
Really?
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Do you mind showing the camera real quick?
Oh, please, it's my pleasure.
Yeah, it looks really cool. That's actually from my personal collection, and I wanted to show you that. And you can have it if you want.
I'm really honored.
Go ahead and
Thank
keep
you. Thank you very much. I think I'll do
is it?
just that.
it. You're welcome. Well, can you please share some words of motivation to everyone watching my show?
Well, everybody come watch the fight. I'm sure you'll never forget it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Well,
indeed.
everyone, I'm here with one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, Mr. Mike Tyson. And until next time, Jazzin' out.
Thank you, Jazz.
All right, Jazz.
Thank you so much.
Oh man. Why even bother to watch the fight? They're just gonna die anyway. It doesn't really matter. Who cares? Who needs an effing legacy? He's just that poor kid. Although the kid, I have to say, good interviewer. Even through that Jazzy just pushed through that, still stayed positive, saved the interview. Really, I have to say, Jazzy just upstaged one of the biggest celebrities in the universe.
The information war is raging. Truth without integrity is worth nothing. Maverick News. Because those who have power and those who seek it must be held accountable.
The world is watching.
Join our family of truth seekers. Donate today and add your voice to the chorus of Maverick Knights. Donate at maverickdonations.com. Truth. Integrity. It's the Maverick way. Maverick News. The world is watching.
Okay. Oh, that's the lead story tonight. Yeah, a sports story. Boxing has kind of waned in popularity, hasn't it? You gotta roll out Iron Mike to keep boxing alive, but that's okay. I'm liking it. Saw somebody in the chat there saying, where can you watch it? I believe it's a Netflix thing. And yeah, I don't think the fight will be on, as John said, until probably like 11 or maybe even later tonight. They'll drag that broadcast out. They have like a bunch of other preliminary bouts leading up to the main event. Yeah. It's a big show. As Ed Sullivan would say, it's a really big shoe tonight. It was a big shoe at Mar-a-Lago yesterday. Indeed it was. Oh, here. Here's a little look at what went on at Mar-a-Lago, courtesy of Elon Musk. Oh yeah, he's in tight now with Trump and the new ruling class, the new elite, and oh, look who's in the center there. Javier Milei. Mr. Argentina and Mr. Ultra conservative, or whatever you want to call him. Yeah, I don't know how do you characterize this shift in political flavor globally, more to the conservative or right. Some would say far right, some say conservative, some say populist. It's old and yet it's new. And there's Elon. And there's Mr. Trump. He looks different somehow in that picture. Trump does. He just looks different. Maybe it's the bow tie and the tux. Black tie event last night. And at that event, he was hinting at some of the new additional appointments he's going to be making to his team to run the country. Pretty interesting, his choices. And, well, the Democrats, Kamala Harris, during the election campaign, really relied on star power to combat the Trump train, ultimately without success. Trump rolled out some stars of his own last night, showed that he too can attract some real star power. And since we're into the whole boxing world, it's only fitting that we share a little clip from Rocky, Sylvester Stallone, who spoke at the event last night and describes Donald Trump as a new version of George Washington.
When I did Rocky, if you remember, the first image was a picture of Jesus, and it says Resurrection AC Club. I found a church that had been converted to a boxing ring. So the image pans down from Jesus onto Rocky being hit. And at that moment, he was a chosen person, and that's how I began the journey. Something was going to happen. This man was going to go through a metamorphosis and change lives, just like President Trump. We are in the presence of a really mythical character. I love mythology. And this individual does not exist on this planet. Nobody in the world could have pulled off what he pulled off, so I'm in awe. And I'll just say this, and I mean it. When George Washington defended his country, he had no idea that he was going to change the world. Because without him, you can imagine what the world would look like. Guess what? We got the second George Washington. Congratulations! But
so that's pretty interesting. And I can tell you that these appointments that Trump is making, they have they have his political opponents melting down. Yeah. Perhaps the one that is of greatest concern, I think, not only within the Democrat circles, but even within some Republican circles, is the appointment of RFK Jr. to be the health czar. That's what I'm going to call him. The health czar. Thou shalt not eat Mickey D's. A lot of people concerned about RFK's views on a variety of health issues. Others are very hopeful. When he says that he wants to remove fluoride from water and all of these kinds of things. And looks like he's going to go to war with the food industry, agriculture, big ag, the food processing industry, pharmaceutical industry. And the list goes on and on and on, who he's going to be mixing it up with and calling out. And here's Mike Pence weighing in on this. He is opposed to RFK Jr. because of his support for abortion access. This is, again, one of the reasons people on the conservative side are worried about RFK Jr. And already we're seeing, little cracks forming in that partnership, if you will, between MAGA and the RFK Jr. supporters coming together to defeat the Dems. But how long will the love affair, the honeymoon, last? I don't know. Pence not exactly the most popular guy with MAGA people because of what happened on J6. But he says right here, I believe the nomination of RFK Jr. to serve as Secretary of HHS is an abrupt departure from the pro-life record of our administration and should be deeply concerning to millions of pro-life Americans who have supported the Republican Party and our nominees for decades, Pence wrote, according to this story. This version of the story on ABC, their website. Pence claimed that Kennedy, for most of his career, has supported positions such as abortion on demand during all 9 months of pregnancy and restoring Roe v. Wade. He goes on in what he wrote in his statement regarding this and says, the pro-life movement has always looked to the Republican Party to stand for life, to affirm an unborn child has a fundamental right to life which cannot be infringed. And he goes on and says, on behalf of tens of millions of pro-life Americans, I respectfully urge Senate Republicans to reject this nomination and give the American people a leader who will respect the sanctity of life as Secretary of Health and Human Services. As I've said, this whole coalition, unity party, thingy-majiggy that became a marriage of convenience and maybe even, I would say, necessity during the election. I don't know how long it's going to hold together once the administration actually gets to work, because I think you're going to see that RFK Jr.'s views on many, many things don't really quite align with Trump's. That being said, he's kind of in there and getting ready to stir things up. So hold on to your undergotchies, because it's going to get to be a bumpy ride, I think. Stay with me. I'll be right back.
Maverick News. The world is watching.
You know, someone very profoundly once said, many years ago, that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
Well, I think it's time we ask ourselves if we still know the freedoms that were intended for us by the Founding Fathers. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on Earth.
The entire world is watching.
Every dictator, every crazy dictator in the world is watching. The world is watching. On TV,
The entire world is watching.
On social media.
But the entire world is watching, and yes, they are seeing what we have apparently bravely been willing to say that others are thinking.
Stand for freedom. Literally stand for freedom. Let's get this done. The entire world is watching.
We're at war with the most dangerous enemy that has ever faced mankind in his long climb from the swamp to the stars.
Maverick News. Maverick News. Maverick News.
Let me have more control of my own destiny.
The world is watching.
Okay, we're back, and want to show you street view in Ukraine. Some street views. A lot of people talking about what Trump is going to do with regard to Ukraine, and just a lot of speculation, a lot of concern. Some people hoping that he just yanks all the support and funding. Other people, of course, concerned that he's going to yank all the support and funding. The appointment of Marco Rubio as Secretary of State, if that holds, and I think it will. He's a well-known figure, and it will be hard to oppose him or prevent his appointment. But, I don't think that he's not necessarily, how shall I put this? He's not exactly I think he's closer to middle of the road on a number of these things, although he's pretty hard line on Iran and the situation in the Middle East. Ukraine, more, I think he's malleable. He can be convinced to kind of move his position on that issue, I think. And over in Ukraine, as I've been kind of gauging public reaction to the Trump victory, it's been somewhat surprising, actually, because the mood out of Ukraine thus far has not been entirely negative toward it. And that's because Trump, I think, to a lot of people in Ukraine, represents maybe an opportunity to assert a more forceful position. If Trump is unable to secure some sort of a peace agreement quickly, if things don't go as he has promised and planned, I think that the strength through peace, or peace through strength, rather, approach, I like to say strength through peace. That's my thing. Okay? But, if you want peace through strength, then maybe you'll get that with Trump, because you have to look at the record. It was Trump who sent the Javelin missiles when Obama didn't. It's been the Biden administration all along that has really been restrictive on Ukraine, even though you're providing all of these arms. The United States, NATO countries have just been consistently imposing real restrictions, limitations on how they can be used, where they can be used. You can use these missiles, but only within Ukrainian territory. You're not allowed to hit the missile launchers. You're only allowed to hit positions inside Ukraine. So the Russians sit over in Russia and fire all the missiles from Russian territory, and there's very little that they can do on the Ukrainian side to combat that, other than try to shoot all the missiles down, and that's only somewhat effective. They can hit some of those targets with drones and so on, but the point is, it's been sort of this is the problem with the United States. Honestly, in my view, this is why the United States has gone in sort of like with half measures. It's like, yeah, we'll help you fight, but not give you quite enough to win. And and they keep it going on, and they don't give them like the top-notch weapons. That's the other thing about RFK Jr., completely out to lunch on this whole thing. He put together a video during the campaign with one of his campaign supporters or volunteers or whatever. And they were sitting there, and one of the things they said in this anti-Ukraine video, and they want to pull all the support. My view, completely out to lunch. They were saying that the U.S. shouldn't be giving the arms to Ukraine because they're showing the Russians, they're sort of like revealing the U.S. hand, exposing their strategies and the technology, giving the Russians access so that they can assess how these newer weapons are used in the field, which will ultimately erode the U.S. position of dominance. And nothing could be further from the truth, because over in Ukraine, it's all old stuff that they're providing. It's primarily just older, antiquated arms. Even the missiles that have been provided, they just provided, there was hundreds of missiles that they sent over there to Ukraine, but they were missiles that were ready to be decommissioned because they were basically expired. They were past their expiry date or about to expire. And so they sent them to Ukraine. And as a result, and people say, oh, it's costing so much money. Yeah, well, actually they're sort of being sold, essentially. And so it's money coming back in. It's not just a straight up money drain. If you get the money back, if Ukraine loses, you'll never get it back. If they win, then there's sort of debt to be paid back, and that would come back on the U.S. side. However, the governments agree that would happen. But the point is, they're not revealing new technology. But that's the problem. It's just like, are you in it to win it or not? And that's what that's one of the biggest mistakes the U.S. has made over the years, is they get into these wars and they get long drawn out affairs, and they don't go in with enough force to actually win. And here the Biden administration has been timid, afraid of Putin, afraid of escalating too much. We'll go in and we'll fight, but if we give him too much, he might use his nukes. I mean, I get it, but if that's what it's gonna be, you might as well just not do it and save the ammunition and save the lives and just give up. Because if ultimately that's where it leads, then what is the point? It's disingenuous. It's actually inhumane to make these kinds of promises. We're in it for as long as it takes. Well, that's what they've been getting from Biden. And Ukraine has been very frustrated, honestly, I think, with the Biden administration. And so at least with Trump, they'll get a definitive answer, I think, one way or another fairly quickly. And if the peace thing doesn't work out, and I'm not so sure that it will, then maybe he'll come back on the other side and provide arms that will present a more decisive position, a more assertive position, a more realistic position. But all that being said, on the Russian side, this hasn't gone the way Putin has planned. He was going to take Kyiv in, 5 days? And it's just dragged on and on and on for almost 3 years? That's hardly what I would say. I wouldn't characterize that as a success. No. A 5-day special military operation that has now turned into a 3-year war with probably somewhere, I'm hearing somewhere in the range of 600, 700,000 Russian casualties. That's not success. And that's tragic on both sides, because Ukraine sustaining, massive losses as well in terms of human lives. And not just military lives either. I have here ready to show you various street view images of what it looks like in Ukraine these days. And this is the result of the war. And I just thought this was, I was just curious about this, and I went searching overnight, and indeed I did find some of these images. Let's bring it up here. This is what Russia has been doing inside Ukraine. So this is what is this? Chernobyl Street in Chernihiv. Okay, so this is a civilian area, and this is what the Russian missiles are doing. I'm not sure if there's any military value to any of this, but here you are. This is what the people in Ukraine are living like right now. You can see a missile has gone straight in, or a drone or something has gone straight into that apartment building right over there. Day after day after day. I can't, living here in Canada, I can't imagine what it must be like to live under a constant threat of attack like this. It's really heartbreaking. Let's take a look in another area. How about the Kyiv region? Let's take a look here. This is around Kyiv. Wow. Winter upon them there now, and you know, those soldiers on both sides, they're squaring off, especially over in the Kursk region now, where the Russian soldiers are trying to gain back some of the Russian territory that Ukraine was able to capture. And they're trying to do that obviously ahead of Trump coming into power. Well, what is the point in that? What is the point in any of this? I don't know. Let's go to the Sumy region. No, we were already here. Okay, so let's go to Kharkiv. Oh, isn't that nice? Not. Wow. So that looks like nothing left there, man. Obviously, just an area, grassy area that's just been where kids are supposed to play. Izium. Let's see what we have over here. This is some sort of a courtyard, I guess. Something happened to this building. I don't know what that is. I've never been to Ukraine, so I'm really not, I'm not a great tour guide, but you can just see the damage. Way over here. Damage to that building. Looks like some businesses underneath and apartments or something above. What is that? Street sign, a yield sign right in the... I don't know what would cause that. I don't know what that is. Oh my God. They blew a hole right through the center of that building. What is the point? Unless you're just trying to demoralize people. Wow. Anyway. I don't know where it's all going. I don't know where it's all going. Pray for peace. Pray for Donald Trump.
He's a fighter. He's a survivor. President Trump, defiant, strong. He is determined to make America great again. Pay tribute to the 45th President of the United States with this collectible t-shirt from the Maverick News Memorable Moments collection. Even a would-be assassin's bullet could not stop him. Instead, he emerged with his fist in the air ready to fight. For freedom. Get your Trump Fighting for Freedom t-shirt with any donation of $30 or more to Maverick News. There are 2 iconic artistic designs to choose from. But there is only one way to get these. Donate at freedomreporters.com. Support free speech. Free media. Support Maverick News. Call 1-866-248-1490 or order online at supergeeks.tv.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarmingly, some media publish things they simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
In an ocean of lies a century deep, the truth awaits. Choose not the red pill. Choose not the blue pill. For both are an illusion. Discover the power of M. The power of individuality. We are Mavericks. We are the way to the light. Fear not the storm. Join our quest for truth. Truth will set you free. Maverick News. The world is watching.
Okay, I'm back. And when I say pray for Trump, I mean it, because there is real weirdness just surrounding him, swirling around him. I can't quite put my finger on it, but you know, I can't quite feel the pulse of it yet. But there's something a lot different about this Trump. This is Trump 2.0. I say the old Trump in 2016, that was the Rush Limbaugh Trump. The Trump we're getting now, this is more like this is a Trump 2.0. There's more Alex Jones in this than there is Rush Limbaugh. God rest his soul. I used to listen to Rush Limbaugh all the time. Like that guy was a conservative. Okay? Absolutely. And a teacher. What we have now is not Rush Limbaugh. And Limbaugh, I think, had some influence over Trump. If not directly, just indirectly even, because I think Trump used to listen to him too. But this is not like that. Everything feels different. Are you like, even, and here's the thing about it. It's like after he was elected, you had all these other world leaders, all these people lined up, and they called Trump and they congratulated him. Putin. Long delay. Took 2 days, 2 whole days before he even acknowledged the Trump election. And then when he did, it was only in response to a reporter's question. He said a positive thing, as I recall, but he didn't. It took 2 days. That's strategic. That's intentional. Make no mistake, these are not things that happen just through happenstance. There's a conscious decision made about how and when these kinds of things are done, and there are reasons why, especially when you're at war. And especially when you're dealing with things on that level. I have my own sort of views on why maybe he waited that long and why a lot of this has been playing out. But I'm not going to share all my views on this because you can't prove things. It's just speculation. It's opinion, not entirely based on fact, because I can't tell, honestly, for sure, what it is, what's the real strategy, why is he doing it, what's the message that he is sending. But there was another thing that happened a few days ago as a result of this, and it involves Nikolai Patrushev. He is one of Putin's main sort of advisors. He is part of I think he's like the head of Russian intelligence. Yeah. He's like one of the main aides to Vladimir Putin. And in a statement, when he was speaking with a Russian state media, TASS, and he noted that even though the U.S. election might be over, Trump is still, get this, he said Trump is still beholden to certain forces. Very, very ominous warning issued here in a sort of a indirect way. But anybody involved in politics can sort of read between the lines in what the messaging might be here. And he went on and he said, to achieve, this is a quote, to achieve success in the election, Donald Trump relied on certain forces to which he has corresponding obligations. That was Patrushev. He told the Business Daily Commerçant, and that was in response to a question about whether the outcome of the presidential election would bode well for Russia. He went on and said, quote, as a responsible person, he, Trump, will be obliged to fulfill them. And then that was grabbed by TASS, that quote, this story, and they ran with it and really amplified it. And then there was this follow-up question about Trump's susceptibility to being pressured and possibly influenced. And Patrushev, when presented with that, he didn't respond to the question directly. It was surprising to hear his response. Rather than just answer that directly, he instead brought up the assassination attempts against Trump. And he said, his words, we know of 2 cases of attempts on his life during the election campaign. In general, throughout the history of the United States, attempts have been made on the lives of presidents and candidates regularly, more than 20 times. 4 U.S. presidents have died at the hands of assassins while in office. Therefore, it is extremely important for U.S. intelligence agencies to prevent a repetition of such cases. That's... What is the message in that? That's not congratulations, Donald Trump. We wish you well, hope for the best, and hope you all great success, and may we live in peace. That's not what that message is. That's like, hey, you owe somebody. Who is it that he owes? And he has an obligation? To whom? For what? I don't like it. You can read between the lines. You can sort of figure out what he's saying there. I don't like it. Makes me worry. And I really don't like the talk, the response, where he's asked a question and then instead of answering the question, he goes straight into a comment about assassination attempts on Trump. Coming from a Russian top-level aide to Putin, an intelligence guy. There's messaging in there. I can sit here and feed you political junk food, or I can give you the real deal. That's the real deal. That's not crapola. That's not, oh, the U.S. did it to itself. That's not, a bunch of bunk. I'm not exactly sure what the messaging is, but it's not good. And it's time that we stop blaming ourselves for every damn bad thing that happens in the world, because there are multiple sides to every story. And all these things that have happened through history are complex. And what's going on right now, very complex. Not black and white. This is politics. This is World War III. We're immersed in it right now. And the sooner people wake up to that reality, the better off we will all be, because only then will we actually be able to find a way to peace and prosperity and a brighter, better future, I hope.
Someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
Well, I think it's time we ask ourselves if we still know the freedoms that were intended for us by the Founding Fathers. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on Earth.
The entire world is watching.
Every dictator, every crazy dictator in the world is watching.
The world is watching. On TV.
The entire world is watching.
On social media.
But the entire world is watching, and yes, they are seeing what we have apparently bravely been willing to say that others are thinking.
Stand for freedom. Literally stand for freedom. Let's get this done. The entire world is watching.
We're at war with the most dangerous enemy that has ever faced mankind in his long climb from the swamp to the stars.
Maverick News. Maverick News. Maverick News.
Let me have more control of my own destiny.
The world is watching.
Okay, we're going to go to the phones in a moment. If you're interested in calling in, here's the number. Okay, Mavericks, it's call-in time. Join the conversation. Call now, 1-519-401-1373. One 519-401-1373. Exercise your right to free speech. That's 1-519-401-1373. That's 1-519-401-1373. Maverick News. Call now. The world is watching and listening to you. I don't know how much Alex Jones you guys watch. I used to watch him more than I certainly do now. I take a look, at sometimes every once in a while. I've drifted away from him. The thing is, I as you know, I've told you, I often will have videos playing in the background even when I'm falling asleep. And I've fallen asleep with Infowars playing in the background. And when I wake up after a few hours of that playing in the background, it twists your brain. There's something not right. I'm just telling you, it gives you nightmares, first of all. Secondly, it's just twisted, mind warping weirdness. There's some truth in there, and then there's a whole lot of weird crap from the lizard people and the alien brain eating whatevers. Okay, it's just over the top, and it's not truth. You can sit there and you can disagree with me all you want, but there's some truth, and then the rest, there's a lot of it is just not truth. It might be entertainment. I don't know what it is, but it's mind warping. And a lot of it, over time, I've just come to find a lot of it distasteful and anti-American, frankly. As much as he sits there and says he loves his country, I don't think so. Case in point, talking about political junk food and a bunch of bunk. Yeah, here it is here. Okay, back last month, this stuff, I don't like this stuff. Alex Jones went on Russian state television and compared the United States to 9/11 hijackers. Yeah. I'm sorry. No. He was comparing what's going on in Ukraine to an American equivalent of a terrorist attack against Russia, like 9/11. And he went on about, and he did some weird comparison about Russian troops in Canada threatening the I don't know. It was just all crazy crap, as though the United States had invaded Ukraine and was this, and it was like a terror attack on Russia through Ukraine, just like 9/11. It was the U.S. equivalent of a 9/11 attack on Russia. Like, sorry, you lose me when you start going down roads like that. I'm not with you. I'm just not with you. It's just bluster and anti-American crap. So don't sit there and tell me that you love your country when you just crap all over it like that. Because it's not true. And it drives people nuts. Like, literally, it drives people nuts. I'm sick of it, quite frankly. I don't like it at all. Now, do I support free speech? Yeah, I do. I support free speech. And this is my free speech right now. Alex Jones can go suck a lemon for saying stuff like that. He's not patriotic, not when he talks like that. Not when he goes and rips his own country in another country that we're frankly at war with right now and craps all over America. And there I'm losing some people. Good. Go off, you do whatever you want. This is my free speech right now. I love my country and I love the United States. And I told you yesterday, don't be too worried about Alex Jones. All this stuff about Infowars being auctioned off and the $1.5 billion. He's got his companies set up so that he won't suffer at all because they're no doubt incorporated and he's arm's length from all of the liability. And I have to wonder where all the money for his operation has come from over the years when he's driving around in his Rolls Royce and he has these fancy-dancy studios. And yeah, he's got a very sizable audience, no question about that. But huge money. And the money isn't in the, even in the studio and even in the, even in the website. It's in him. Because he's the celebrity. He's the face of Infowars. And so they can hammer on him all he wants. And at the end of the day, even if he goes bankrupt, it won't really matter. He's still going to have his voice. He's still going to be out there. And here we are, a day after that auction took place where we were told that the Onion bought it and was going to turn Infowars into a parody site. And yet it seems like this is just some sort of weird, twisted political lawfare theater that doesn't really seem to mean anything. And it's just going around in circles. And the political climate has certainly shifted with Trump being, elected again. And so here we are, not even 24 hours later, and he's back on the air. Because this judge blocked the sale, ultimately, questions about how this auction was being run, apparently. And the website, which I showed you yesterday, the Infowars website, down. They took it down. Well, now it's right back up. It wasn't even down 24 hours. It's right back up, and Alex Jones is back in control. Alex Jones is over there running things. And nothing against Alex Jones, except that I just don't agree with a lot of the crap that he says that's anti-American. Maybe he thinks he is patriotic. Maybe people think that what he's doing is pro-American. Nah, sometimes it sounds like that, but ultimately he's crapping all over the country. You watch, you'll see, even when Trump's in power, it's just, I don't know. It's just, there's something not right. Something really just doesn't feel right. The rhetoric coming out of Moscow, the comments from Putin's aide, the weirdness surrounding everything, the way this whole Infowars thing is playing out, it's worrisome to me. And I'm not sure, people thought that Trump was sort of surrounded by serpents the last time. I think he's surrounded by some serpents right now. You should be very, very careful. I would say America needs to be very, very careful. We know what we're getting with Trump because we've had him before, but everything around him, I can't quite put my finger on it, but something doesn't feel right. Anyway, I'm hopeful that things are going to get better. Even in Ukraine, people are like, I think it might even be better because Trump might even, bring peace. And if he can't bring peace, then maybe he'll give us the tools we really need to properly defend ourselves and our country. I could see that happening too. Who knows where it's all really going to go in the end? I don't know. But it's time to get real and stop playing stupid games and deal with real information, not political junk food like that. But here he is. Here's Alex Jones, not just putting his website back up, but he's back on the air. He's back in the saddle and still riding his Infowars horse. Here he is. This is kind of funny and entertaining. And is it real? It's kind of real.
Well, here we are back at the Infowars studios. I thought it was bought by The Onion. I heard they bought it, or they got it at an auction. Turned out it was a rigged auction. Turned out the judge didn't authorize that auction. Turns out they colluded on the bids beforehand and not told the real people that came to bid. Turns out people are really interested to find out what's going on. So, let it sink in, folks, that we're back at Infowars, and the corporate media's got major egg on their face, and America's back, and Trump overrode the fraud, and the American people aren't your slaves. Follow me on X at Real Alex Jones, and in case they shut it down again, at AJN Live on X as well for the Alex Jones Network. God bless, and thank you all for your support.
I don't know. Does that feel real to you? I don't know. It feels like a movie. Okay? Feels like a movie. How did I know? What was it that told me that he wasn't going to... He didn't even miss a beat. He wasn't even off the air for... He wasn't off the air for... And he wasn't off the air at all. There was no interruption in the flow of Infowars. Nothing. Just saying. And even if they sell off all the assets, even if he's taken down, he's still Alex Jones. He's still going to have his voice. He's still going to be there. It's not going to stop. He don't worry about Alex Jones. He's going to be fine. He's going to be just fine. Just saying. All right, coming up here. So, also, what else? Oh, yeah, the UFOs. And God bless America. Especially now, when the country is so damn divided and things are so damn volatile. Let cooler heads prevail. Let people come together, and may peace prevail. I pray that it does. And the weirdness continues. Why is the U.S. government putting us through this? Here's this past week, the Pentagon, there were hearings, more hearings into UFOs. And the Pentagon had testimony again this week. And I just mention it because they've received hundreds of new UAP reports. Instead of UFOs, they're calling them UAPs now. I guess it makes it sound more official. And then they came out with their annual report. It says here that they released their annual report. This is NBC's version of the story. Annual report on UFO sightings, or what it officially calls unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAPs, and found 21 particularly curious incidents. So hundreds of sightings, about 21 of them, they're not really sure. In total, 757 new reports of UAPs were received between May 2023 and June of 2024 and investigated by the Defense Department's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or ARROW, according to the report by the Defense Department and the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. Of those, 485 UAP reports occurred within that reporting period, and another 272 occurred between 2021 and 2022, but hadn't been included in previous annual UAP reports. Overall, the ARROW has received 1,652 UAP reports total as of October 24th, 2024. 49 cases during the reporting period were resolved during the reporting period as objects such as balloons, birds, unmanned aerial systems. Another 243 were recommended for closure as of June, also resolved to be prosaic objects. An additional 444 cases lacked sufficient data for analysis and were placed in the active archive, where they can be re-examined if additional data becomes available. But there were 21 cases that the report said merit further analysis due to the anomalous characteristics and/or behaviors. So there's fuel for the conspiracy crowd. Yeah, it's out there, folks. It's out there. Here's the actual release from the Department of Defense regarding this week's hearings and their report. And there we are. There's the Department of Defense releases the annual report on unidentified anomalous phenomena. And so a lot of the same information I just shared with you is right in here. And you can find the unclassified version of the annual UAP report by clicking on the link that they provide here at defense.gov news releases. Just go to their news release area and you'll be able to click right on the report and get the whole scoop. Also, those hearings are on YouTube. They're archived over there. I did watch a little bit of it, but I kind of just didn't have time to waste on it. Because just like last year, they spent all this time talking and having witnesses come forward and present evidence. And then in the end, what did they say? There's no real evidence of any extraterrestrial life. And we've got, a handful of these that we just can't explain. And so we're really no closer to, I guess, resolving any of this for the public. It's still murky and it's a mystery. And of course, you're going to have people. It's entertaining for some, and other people take it probably far too seriously. And so it just perpetuates the whole, they're probably real aliens living under the ocean, and they come out and fly around, and then they're among us, and the aliens are here. Well, they're saying that there aren't. No real evidence of that. Take it for what it's worth. Believe what you want. I presented here tonight. I think it's interesting and, as I say, entertaining, but I can't put a whole lot of stock in it. I just can't. We're going to go to the phones here in a moment. And with that, I picked a movie tonight that's right in this theme for the Maverick Midnight Matinee starting at 10 p.m. Eastern. And I'll let you guys guess. Do you have any idea what the movie might be? It's science fiction from the 1950s, and it's got aliens in it. I'll leave it at that for the moment. I'll let you guys start to guess in the chat. And if you want to call in the last leg of the program here, as we lead up to Maverick Midnight Matinee, I'll put the number up on the screen. Here we go. Okay, Mavericks, it's call-in time. Join the conversation. Call now, 1-519-401-1373. One 519-401-1373. Exercise your right to free speech. That's 1-519-401-1373. That's 1-519-401-1373. Maverick News. Call now. The world is watching and listening to you. Okay, we are back. And so is John Scotty Rimby from out in Alberta. Hello, sir. You're on the phone. You're on the air. Go ahead. What's going on?
Good evening, Maverick News family worldwide, and a big happy news. We're back again. A big congratulations to Donald J. Trump and our new Vice President-elect, J.D. Vance. I'm excited. I'm in Alberta, and anybody I talk to, we look at the Trump win as happier days again for Alberta, for our oil business. We need that pipeline put through, Rick.
True enough. Yes, sir. He wants to drill, baby, drill. and that could bode well even for Alberta and Canada. Yes. Yep.
Well, I think, I talked to my American relatives, in Minnesota. They're very happy. And, they say some Canadians are kind of a little bit scared about maybe tariffs Trump might put in against Canada. Well, you just thump a tariff back, fair is fair. I really think Trump will get along very well with Pierre Poilievre if he is elected. If he's elected next year, I'm sure he's going to be. And I think that'll be a much better relationship for Canada with Poilievre at the helm, dealing with Trump.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think that Trudeau's the right guy to be dealing with Trump. And the sooner we have a change up here in Canada, the better. I think Canada would be in a much better position at the bargaining table as they begin negotiations to renegotiate the USMCA, which was the replacement for the North American Free Trade Agreement.
And was Chrystia Freeland not involved in that, or she was involved in the one before that? Because she's kind of persona non grata in the United States.
Well, NAFTA was done, years ago with Brian Mulroney, right? So,
yeah.
And that was in the Reagan era, and then the USMCA was done when Trump was in office the last time. And so, yes, the Trudeau government certainly dealt with Trump when he was in office before, because they were around at the same time. And I don't think the USMCA has been bad for Canada at all, and I don't think it's been bad for Mexico either. Many things about the USMCA actually benefited workers down in Mexico a lot, especially auto workers, because under the agreement, Mexico had to agree to pay Mexican workers more to level the playing field on the labor front, so that Mexico kind of lost a little bit of its advantage on the wage, and with wages, so that they ended up paying workers down in Mexico more, so it's better, a win-win. So we'll see where it goes.
And Rick, there are a couple of real quick points. I know you got callers stacked up there. The Dems now, the Democrat Nancy Pelosi, she's pointing the finger at Bernie Sanders, and Bernie's pointing the finger at Hussein Obama, and Michelle and their Obamas are pointing the finger at Hillary and Bill, and there's such a sore losers. I think they should stand in front of the mirror and kind of sober up and take a really good look at how they've treated the American people the last 3 years, and it hasn't been good. And on a side note, I'm not a fan. I really, as a Rolls-Royce guy, I got to tip my hat to President Joe Biden. I thought he was incredibly gracious when he met with Trump on Wednesday this week over a 2-hour meeting. It was supposed to be about an hour. They met for over 2 hours. I thought Biden was on his game that day. Must have had his meds, Rick. Very, very gracious. There was a bit of an oil and water thing there with Dr. Joe Biden and First Lady-elect now Melania did not go and have, their kind of traditional tea with the First Lady, and rumors are, I don't know if it's right or wrong, the rumors are out there that Melania Trump, our new elect First Lady again, second term, is not going to be living in the White House. She's allegedly going to be between Mar-a-Lago and I guess maybe New York, Trump Tower, or maybe Washington. Have you heard anything on that, Rick?
No, I haven't heard anything about that. That's all domestic, personal relationship with Trump, and I focus more on policy and programs, those kinds of things. Not so much the nitty-gritty personal lifestyle details and the family details. Some of that stuff obviously matters, but no, I think.
I think, Rick. And I know you're a little hard on my man Trump, the orange orangutan. Let's give him a bit of breathing room, Rick. Let's give him 6 months. I think
that's cool with me, man. Like, don't get me wrong. I want him to succeed, and and I've been very optimistic and hopeful all the way along from 2016 all the way through. I knew back in 2016 he was going to win. I could just see it. You could feel it. this time around, I don't know, it's just different. And I'm not even directing this so much at Trump. It's just the stuff around him. It's just strangeness. And, as I see these appointments that he's making, some of them I find reassuring because I think it's more in line with what I expect from Trump. So it's Trump in control, and it's Trump. Like, I don't have an issue personally with Marco Rubio at all. I like Marco Rubio a lot. So I think that's a good thing. I like it. But some other stuff going on that just around him, I worry how much influence some of these other people might end up having.
Kennedy, Rick, is I think one of the most brilliant appointments Trump has done was the chief of staff, that lady. I think she's going to be the steady rudder behind Trump. She supposedly is behind the scenes here, strategically working for the Republican win. I mean, what a landslide. I mean, this is historic.
Yeah, she's a very smart lady. She's actually from the Reagan era, a throwback to the Reagan times, and brilliant strategist, working behind the scenes. No doubt she was instrumental in getting him elected again. So good choice.
I'm feeling good about that, Rick. I think she's going to be a real steady writer. There's rumors Peter Ducey, that reporter from Fox News, may be dumped in as White House press secretary. And I also think Trump has put some nominees in his cabinet that is just meant to just completely piss off the Democrats.
I think that's probably true.
Am I honestly saying that, Rick?
Sorry, John, what did you say?
Well, am I off base saying that?
No, I think you're right on target.
Kennedy is a totally certifiable nut job. I'll pick him up in Edmonton, Rick, off the Air Force run, and check him into Ponoka County brain unit, trauma unit, because he's a nut bar.
Well, yeah, I think that, and you can echo this if you choose to, but you and I have talked about this a little bit, and I think that one of the main reasons he's got RFK Jr. in there is because he knows he's just going to go in and cause a lot of ruckus, a lot of trouble, stir a lot of things up, and get a lot of people upset that have done some pretty nasty things politically, especially over the last 4 years and longer.
Like Rick, historically, this is the ultimate bitch slap to the Democrats, with all due respect, you know. And Rick, you'll never know who I ran into today, downtown Calgary at the mall. Guess who I ran into?
Fill me in. Who?
Santa Claus, Rick.
Oh my
gosh! I wish Santa a Merry Christmas. He gave me a big hug and kiss for all our Maverick News family worldwide. And Santa is praying for peace around the world, Rick, as well.
Yeah, well, there you go. Did you want to comment at all on that Alberta Bill of Rights thing, or did you want to save that for another night?
Well, yeah, maybe another time. I don't know a lot about it, Rick, actually, but I'm meeting another friend of ours maybe tomorrow, Pastor Arthur.
Oh, yes.
Hopefully. And I will pass along the good cheers and Christmas wishes from our Maverick News family. Rick, I gotta say again, what a beautiful interview you did on Remembrance Day with Pastor Arthur Pawlowski, and what a true Canadian hero, and they just love him in the United States, I guess.
They do.
He's tied in very deeply with the Trumps, which I think is very good for Alberta and Canada.
Yeah, that's true. That could bode well for the country. Acting as something of an ambassador to the Trump administration, Arthur Pawlowski, which will just stick like a... Trudeau's not going to like that at all.
Arthur,
not at all.
Rick, Arthur will stick like diarrhea to a fluffy blanket. There's no separating the two. And he will be a beautiful ambassador for... He'll be a beautiful ambassador for Canada and Alberta. And you know, Rick and Mavericks, it's who you know, boys and girls. It's not what you know. It's who you know in the world, right, Rick?
Well, Justin Trudeau knows both of those guys, and his head's got to be blowing up. This can't make him happy at all.
Well, Rick, I don't think Justin Trudeau, and I still think he's Fidel Castro's son. I'm waiting for the DNA results. But Justin and Christopher Freeland, I don't think they're on the Christmas card list for Mar-a-Lago. But I think we are on the list. We might be invited to the inauguration through Arthur Pawlowski. You know, you never know, right?
You never know. You never know.
And I just might drop a seed tomorrow. Plant a seed, Rick.
Okay.
You know, we are on the Christmas card list, Rick.
Pastor Art, could we please go with you to Mar-a-Lago?
Hey, Rick, we're just going to jump on the oil jet. I'll just borrow it from the oil company.
There you go, yeah. Well, we can get into that another night, too, because that's...
Well, Rick, Trump's he's done an upgrade now. He's going from his beautiful $150 million Trump jet. Now he's going to be back on board Air Force One. And if you remember, boys and girls, 4 years ago, Trump renegotiated the new deal for 2 brand new Air Force Ones coming from Boeing. And I think they're going to be delivered next year, Rick.
Yeah. I just hope they build the 2 jets better than they built the Boeing Starliner, because we wouldn't want Trump to get stranded in space.
We don't need our Donald sucked out the side of an emergency door because there's a loose bolt.
Yeah, that's right. Well, listen, John, we're going to sign off here because I have to get ready for this Maverick Midnight Matinee. Do you want to take a guess as to what the movie might be tonight?
I was trying to think. You said sci-fi. I was thinking maybe Vincent Price, the last man. That's the title of the movie. The Last Man Left on
Last Man on Earth? No, we've already had that movie.
Oh, okay. So, it was a good guess, eh?
Yeah, good guess, but we've already done that one. This one has aliens in it. 1950s.
Maybe it's John from Toronto with George Norrie and Coast to Coast radio show.
No, it's not the radio show. From the 19.
Have you seen your local Sasquatch lately running around the campsite? No.
No. Although we've done a show on that, Sasquatch University. Yeah. So no, good guesses, but no dice. No.
Okay, well, I made a best efforts.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you, sir. And we will...
Rick, again, on behalf of people around the world, and I just ran into a new young news guy here today, graduated journalism, and people have an awful lot of respect for you, Rick, worldwide. You provide a beautiful, non-biased platform for people around the world to call in. If you got a stone in your shoe, Republican, Democrat, Independent, Libertarian, Conservative, NDP, Liberal, you have, and I think you're so unappreciated.
Thank you, John. I appreciate that. I'm going to take a quick call from Dragon. He's calling in.
Love you. Let you go. Cheers,
see you,
guys.
man. Bye.
God bless you.
Okay, didn't want to lose Dragon's call. There he is. There's the man. I haven't spoken to you in days. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you tonight?
I'm just fine, Sir Dragon. What's going on?
I got a guess for you.
Okay.
Let's go with Earth versus flying saucers.
Excellent guess, but not quite. No, very close, but no, not quite there. Let me just look in the chat here while I have you on the line. What else? War of the Worlds? Nope. Earth versus flying saucers.
I got probably half of the title right, because to be quite honest, I know there's a Superman versus flying saucers too, so that's probably the second guess.
Yeah, good guess again, but no. Let me just see here in the chat. I'm going to reveal the answer here. Oh, Sandy is saying Wonder Woman meets E.T. Sandy called earlier today and spoke with me, just in a nice little quick chat, and said that she thinks we need a new Wonder Woman movie. So she thinks the world needs Wonder Woman right now, actually, is what she told me on the phone earlier today. But no, Sandy, it's not Wonder Woman meets E.T. But I don't even know if that movie exists, but it should. And maybe Hollywood will make it. All right, so nobody's getting the movie. No, The Day the Earth Stood Still. Another excellent guess from Stoic Teacher, but nope, not quite. I would love to run that, but actually I think it's copyrighted, so I probably can't run that one. It's Killers from Space. Killers from Space. Here, let me see if I can find what I want to find with that. Hang on.
Killer from Space. That's a good one.
The makeup is, how shall I put this? It is iconic.
Well, back in the days, it was always iconic. I mean, you needed to get away with the plan of the day, right?
Oh, man. Here, I'm going to show you the trailer for Killers from Space. Hang on a second here. Here we go. Okay. I've got her queued up. This is funny, man. Killers from Space. This is such a great flick. It'll make your eyeballs pop out of your skull. Like literally. Check this out. Here we go. Oh, where is my cue? Here it is. Okay.
Frightening, bulb-eyed men, 1 billion strong, set to destroy the earth. The human race lulled into a false sense of security, except for one scientist who dared probe the secret of this terrifying planet.
Literally.
They're here. They're trying to destroy us.
It's all right, Dr. Martin. You're with Fred. You'll be all right.
I think they made a video game about this movie back when Super Nintendo was the big thing.
Look at the eyes.
Oh my God.
Yet unknown to you. I'm getting out of here. Stay where you are.
Oh, wow.
This is so campy. This is hilarious.
Dr. Martin.
And I'm wondering how bad they are.
It's so bad, it's good.
Back or I'll kill him. Go on, get back. Do as he says.
That's like being on the Star Trek Enterprise. Oh my God, look how huge that is.
Oh my God.
It's science fiction's terrific thrill sensation, charged with amazements beyond belief. Killers from Space! Tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Maverick News Channel, where we are going to run Maverick Midnight Matinee, the Killers from Space watch party. You don't want to miss it, because it's going to be hilarious. Probably the funniest movie we've run so far, I think. You want to join me tonight, Dragon?
Sure.
All right, cool. All right, groovy. All right. We're gonna sign off. I've got another call coming in, but I gotta go because I gotta get the broadcast set up for Maverick Midnight Matinee. We'll be back in just over a half an hour. Same bat time, same bat station. Maverick News Channel, right here, 10 p.m. in just over a half an hour. Maverick Midnight Matinee, Killers from Space, on the flip side.
This has been a Maverick Multimedia production.